Wow, this year has gone by fast. I am working on the drive-through dragon pattern here. And I thought I would just do a quick stitch with me. Not going to be talking much. May put some music on in the background, but we'll see. This is Drive-Through Dragon by Dragon Muse. It is a Heaven and Earth design. And I noticed I got a couple of subscribers, which surprised me, actually. I wasn't planning on getting any. So thank you. And if you are new, you're more than welcome. So until I actually find out whether or not I can show the pattern on video, which I know I did on my last one, but I got to thinking about it, and I don't know if that's against Heaven and Earth Designs copyright. So I will get an email out to them, and then I will ask them, because it might actually be against their policy to show the pattern on a video. And it really does look like I have a stitch missing here, but I don't think I do. No, it looks like it's just the way that the thread's lying. Wonder if I pulled those too tight or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. So it's been kind of a rough week, honestly. I don't know what my body is thinking of, but it's just been kind of crazy. I've just been super tired this entire week. I've made it through work, luckily, but just barely at times. Okay, so I'm looking at my pattern here, because this is row 1. With the easy count, I actually have the gray threads for the easy count. That's my 0. So that's my 10. And I'm looking at my pattern, and I have this all marked off. It's actually open. So what the heck did I do yesterday? I have no clue. I do not want to have to frog all this out to figure out what the heck I did. It looks like they're all the right colors. Okay, yeah, because this is 1. One and 2. Okay, so I have those. Okay, so it looks like all of this color right here I ended up having to pull out because they're all marked off on my pattern keeper, but they're not actually done. So I wouldn't be surprised if I thought I had done them and marked them off, because I was getting pretty tired last night, to be honest. I only managed a little over 100 stitches total yesterday, because let's see if I can get this in the light so that I can actually thread the needle here. Because as I said, I've been super tired. I don't know what's going on. I hope I'm not getting sick again. I managed to go most of the year without getting sick, and I was actually feeling really good, which I was super happy about. And then it changes to fall in September, although a warm fall, and suddenly I start getting sick. And I'm like, what the heck? Okay. There's that one. So right now I am doing the caterpillar method. So odd rows are left to right, even rows are right to left. But my rule that I picked up from the Stitchy Witch is that you have to have a stitch in that diagonal that you're going to go down in. So for example, this stitch right here. Let me see if I can get you guys a little bit closer. One moment. Come on. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, that'll do. So my rule is like right here with this stitch. I have a stitch in the diagonal where I'm going to be going down, so I can go ahead and put a stitch here. So that's why, like right here, I have a stitch here, but nothing beside it, and that's because the one up diagonal was already there. So that I'm coming up in an empty hole, I'm going down in a hole that already has a thread in it. And I do violate it from time to time, but that's my rule for now, and it seems to come out pretty clean. But it also means that stitching is pretty slow. So 1, 2, so now this one, this third one here, I can't actually finish because this stitch isn't done. So I'll just drop that needle for now. And we'll pick that one up. I just moved the fabric today to take the beginning of the month progress video, or photo, sorry. And I ended up cutting the fabric because I had been working on this with all the excess fabric on the side, because I'd ordered a much larger piece of fabric from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. And I didn't really want to cut it because I didn't want to take the time to put in the overstitch along the hem or along the side to keep it from fraying out. But I went ahead and did that today. I just bit the bullet and come on down, there we go. I bit the bullet and went ahead and put it onto my cutting board, and I cut it down to size. And then I had to spend about an hour with a needle and thread to go ahead and set that in place so that it doesn't fray. And of course, what happens? It immediately started to try to fray. And I do mean immediately. I was actually pulling threads, and I was like, oh crud, because some of these threads just came right off. And I was like, oh no, no, no. You know, that's why I was hesitant to cut it. Because I don't have anything like a serger, and I didn't want to pull my... I did not want to pull my sewing machine out of the closet because I use it that much that it's been in there for 2 years and I haven't touched it. That'll get pulled out this year. I have another project that I finished. It was one of those Amazon printed projects. And I think I'm going the wrong way on this. this was the oven thread. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this was odd, so I should have gone back over here. Well, I'll go ahead and just park it here. Oh well. You know, so I bought a printed design stitch that's printed onto the fabric. It was 11 count on Amazon during Prime Day back in July. And, oh, I already have one there. No, that's because that's the one that I just parked. That's not where it goes. It goes down here. See, I'm already starting to mess up. Actually, let's go and do this one over on this side. Because it's just some single stitches here and I can just put them in real quick. So I don't always do the caterpillar method. Most of the time I do, but I don't always do it just because sometimes it's easier not to. Okay, so 3 down is this thread here, and I need to go one more and park it here. Hence why I wanted to do those two real quick. Anyway, so back to the Amazon printed pattern, and I've posted it if you're in Needlebug's original group. Not the Friends of Needlebug, but her other one. And the Love of Diagonal Stitching, I can't post it in the Haid group, obviously, because it's not a Haid. And I finished it. It took me about 2 months to finish it. It's not a big pattern. Yeah, it's only like 25 colors or something, and it's a phoenix, and I just haven't finished it yet. So I finished stitching it, but I haven't actually finished it yet. Sorry, I need to get a drink. So anyways, I need to do that at some point because I'm planning on finishing it like a wall hanging rather than having it framed. Oops, sorry, I hit the camera. Didn't mean to. I actually hit the power cord for my phone, which of course caused it to go all wobbly. I gotta pull this off this thread drop here. So yeah, that's kind of what got me back into cross stitch. I haven't been doing any cross stitch for several years, to be honest. I was doing cross stitch many years ago. I did another full coverage design of some tigers that I'd picked up at Hobby Lobby. That was actually my first full coverage. And I put it down for several years after we bought our house, and then we moved into the house, and I picked it back up when I was going through my craft stuff, because I was doing knitting and crochet and spinning my own yarn and stuff at the time. And I was going through my craft stuff, and I found the pattern and went, oh yeah, I haven't finished this. Well, I finished it, and it's put away now. Again, it hasn't been finished. And then I stopped for about 5 years after that, when my mom got sick, and we ended up losing her to cancer. And, you know, we're okay now. It's okay. But it was kind of sudden. And what I had in my patterns that I had just bought was a pattern of hummingbirds, because my mom loves hummingbirds. She absolutely loved them. She even, all of her dishes are hummingbirds and flowers. And yeah, after we lost her, I just stopped. I didn't even pick it back up until by chance Amazon was like, hey, this might interest you, and showed me the cross stitch. And I'm like, oh yeah, I used to love doing that. So now I'm back doing stitching. So we'll see. Oh, 2. Sorry, I seem to keep dropping it out of frame, don't I? I do have the Q-snap kind of propped up on my desk here, and then, you know, in my lap, so as I move around, I tend to move the Q-snap around. And I apologize. I'll try to keep my cross stitch in frame here. Luckily, this section right here is a block of larger color, which is nice, because then I'm not changing needles and changing colors a whole ton. There's some places in here where I'll get a ninja stitch and I'll get one stitch of one color, and I won't have any other stitch of that color for like hundreds of stitches in either direction. Not enough to even park it. Okay, where am I at? Left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, so just continue with this color. Actually thinking about getting some colored pens, some of those maybe disappearing ink ones. I don't know. Not the heat disappearing ink, because we live in the southwest US and it gets hot in the summer and I do not want those suddenly coming back. But just the ones that just fade away after a day or two. Excuse me. So yeah, wow, I can't seem to get around this whole mess of parked threads. But yeah, I've been thinking about getting some of those disappearing ink pens so that I can just kind of mark as I'm going, like mark out my diagonal and just be able to mark which ones are odd and which ones are even. So, you know, maybe even if it's just like just the even ones where I can just go, this is even, so I'm not having to go, hey, left, right, left, right, left, right, down the pattern over and over again, because I get lost. Okay. Oh, that one's already on a needle. Duh. Yeah, I tend to just put the needles down on a magnet near the bottom And then I forget which threads already are on needles and which aren't. A couple diagonals ago, about 2 diagonals ago, I did about 2 diagonals. I tried it for 2 or 3 diagonals, and I did cross country within the diagonal. And while I seemed to stitch faster, I didn't quite look how the stitches came out. Like here, some of them look kind of bumpy and lumpy and twisted, and I think that's because I was coming up quite a bit in holes that already had thread in them. And it was just driving me nuts. So yeah, I ended up going back to this way of just snaking down the diagonal. Means more needles, more parked threads, but I think it's not, some of my thread gets kind of twisted up, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad. I don't know. I may just get tired of this eventually and go, hey, and just go back and do some cross country. All right, I'm gonna have to move a little bit here. Sorry. Oh. The problem with this is that while it's easy on my arms to do this, sometimes my back does not like this at all. But if I get into like a recliner or something, then my back's happy, but then my arms start to hurt because I have to bring the thing to me. And since I'm constantly moving, like I don't always stitch in the same spot. I haven't gotten a stand or anything. Because especially during the summer we go and we take the fifth wheel. And we'll go camping. And we'll do that get away from the house, get away from digital. You know, while we still have our digital devices, obviously. I take our phones, I take the tablet, I even take our Steam Deck. But we get away from just the constant on, like when you're at home. And so it's quieter. And because of that, there's not much space in the fifth wheel. And with not much space, I don't want to buy a stand that's going to be a huge thing to take into the fifth wheel and lug around, you know. It's just not practical, especially when I am only going to be in that fifth wheel for, I don't know, a weekend, and then I have to work. I can only really take off a full week once a year, which I usually take a week and a half off. I'm going to put this piece back on this floss strap here. There we go. Oops, sorry, hit the camera again. And I think I moved the camera out of spot. Come on. So yeah, I've been looking at lap stands, something that can go over my lap. You know, that I can use either in my chair here at my desk, or that I can, you know, put over my lap if I'm in a recliner, because I like to sit in the recliner in the fifth wheel instead. But I don't know. I really haven't decided yet. There's one, I think it's on Etsy. Yeah, I think it's on Etsy, and it ships from Ukraine. That looks really good. But I certainly do not have several $100s to spend on a good wooden stand like the Frog or anything like that. Well, that would be probably a better option long term. Oh, I just moved it out of frame again, didn't I? Oh, and there went my floss. Hold on. Oh, I completely knocked my floss drop to the floor. I have them hanging on the keyboard rail on my desk, and yeah, I just completely knocked it to the floor. Which one was I doing again? Those two. Okay, yeah. So I gotta park it here. 1, 2, 3, right here. This will be for the next diagonal. Actually, not even the next one. It'll be the one after that. And I just forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, the Frog, it looks like a really, really good stand. I must admit, it looks like a really good stand, and being hardwood, it would last for a really long time. I just don't have that kind of money to drop on a stand like that for something that I don't even know if it would work for what I want it to work for. You know, can you even use it in a recliner setup? That's my thing. So, I don't know. So, how was everyone's Halloween? I know there were several people at my work that was just going all out for Halloween. They absolutely love Halloween. I really don't make a big fuss of it anymore. I used to when our son was little. We were at an apartment where they would do a Halloween party for Halloween. And sometimes it would be maybe the weekend before Halloween. But they would block off the entrances, the main entrance to the apartment. And they would have, you know, like games for the kids and a bouncy house and just a whole bunch of stuff for the kids. And my son loved it. You know, he was little at that point. And he just absolutely loved it. And then we bought our house. And we tried to go and do Halloween stuff, but unfortunately, most of the Halloween stuff seemed to be for like churches and stuff. There was the fall festival, which they still do for the city, which they held in the middle of October this year, and I completely spaced it as to when it was, so we didn't get to go. But it's always crowded. I mean, those parks are really kind of small for the amount of people, and just the parking is crazy. And since I already have a hard time walking around, I just don't like to go. But I was willing to take our son to to those events, and we went one year. He was just like, no. I think we went to one church trunk or treat, and he was just like, no, I'm not interested. So he actually hasn't even been interested in Halloween for the last couple of years. And we don't even have any small kids in our area anymore. I think last year we bought one bag of candy. And we were going to go ahead and give out candy because son wanted to be the one to give out candy. And we got one trick-or-treater the entire night. Just one. So this year we decided, no, we're not going to even do anything for Halloween. And it didn't help that I wasn't feeling good. And I haven't been feeling good, as I said, for a couple of days. So, yeah, we just stayed in and did some of our own things, because we're all computer gamers. All three of us love computer games. And we do play computer games. So we were each playing our own horror games yesterday for the theme. Wow, so we're going to go all the way over there. Yep. I hope everyone enjoyed and did what they wanted to do for Halloween. Whether that be going out trick-or-treating, going to parties, or just staying home and having fun. Wow, I can't get this. Let me get this into the light. Let's see. Okay, come on. Nope, it's not going to completely thread, I don't think. No, I'm just going to... Yeah, this just does not want to go through the eye of this needle. Wow, what the heck did I do here? It's like I got half of one strand of the floss. That's crazy. Alright, let's flip this needle over. Try this again. I mean, I do have a needle threader if it comes down to it. There we go. But I don't like to use it with these small needles because it doesn't like to pull the thread through very well. Oh, and I completely moved this out of the frame again. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. So I really like how these light colors are coming out to highlight the lighting behind the window. And when I was working on it earlier, I was just like, what the heck with all of these browns and dark colors, and you know, this isn't lighting. And then you take a step back from it after you've done a couple of columns. All right, one moment, I gotta move. There we go. Done a couple of columns and you look at it and you're going, oh yeah, those are that's the foliage on the other side of the window. So, like, yeah, that's why they're all brown, is because that's the foliage on the other side of the window. And it's not really brown, it's more of like well, maybe a golden brown color. One, two, three, four. Okay, here's another good chunk of color again. And there's my needle. Sometimes I get confused and want to try and put it right above where it's actually at instead of at the diagonal. Hopefully I'm not the only one that does that and gets confused as to where the needle is supposed to go. Stop here soon. So I work from home and I work on a computer all day. So even with multiple stretch breaks, because the company's really good about making sure that we are healthy and have a good work-life balance, but still, even with multiple stretch breaks, I still get sore. And unfortunately, cross-stitch seems to aggravate it. If I've been working all day and then I'm trying to relax doing some cross-stitch, I get really, really sore. And just my back goes, nope, you have been sitting all day. Of course, it doesn't help when you're doing cross stitch and you want to lean over your work. Because that's what we all seem to tend to want to do. Well, I know there's some that don't, but everyone that I've seen in person tends to kind of lean over their work a little bit. So take frequent breaks, stretch, and make sure you don't aggravate yourself. Oh, good, another big block of color. Well, at least a little bit. Got about 2 rows of this color, so. Did I do what I said that I had trouble doing? I think I did. I think I made it up. I think I made it up and down. Yeah, I think I did. Alright, I'll have to frog it. So I couldn't get it to... Come on. It's like one tiny little thread that kept it from coming right back out. There we go. I hope I didn't just remake the same mistake. No, it looks like I got it in the right spot. Okay. Sometimes these stitches are so tiny, even with magnifiers, they can be hard to see. I'm glad I am not working on 40 count. I'm only working on 25, and I am already barely able to see where the holes are at times. Alright. I did another color. Okay, let me go grab it. 729. Come on. Oh, don't you hate it when you pull, see? Pull and not stuck. It just, there we go. Okay, just had to straighten it back out and then start pulling again. Come on, needle. Sometimes the needle just does not want to come off the magnet. Sorry about that. Let me actually scoot my chair a little forward. There we go. Maybe I can keep it in the frame a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, now I'm getting back into stitches where they're plentiful, but they're not really continuous. This was the nice thing when I did the cross country, is I could just continue going left, right, based on the row. But I could get them all done until I ran out of thread, or until I reached the bottom, in which case I'd still park it down here below the row that I'm working. But I don't know, sometimes finding like the little stitches, like when you have one in the middle of other stitches, was just an absolute nightmare. You know, at this level, they're so dang small that just trying to find the stitch and where to put the stitch, that it could very easily go missed. Let's see, one, it's here, so we go here, and then one down, right here. No, right here, because this is the even row, so we're going right to left on this row. Okay. Yeah, that's something that I quickly found doing cross country on this piece, was that just trying to find those stitches when you have them. And unfortunately, I haven't found a way of being able to easily see how many stitches there are in a diagonal, let alone a column. Oh, I guess reverse that. In a column, let alone a diagonal, of one color. So I can't even go, okay, I'm going to stitch the color with the fewest stitches in this diagonal, because then I would actually have to go and count them all up, or make a rough guess, you know, highlighting all of the different colors, and that's just way too much work in my opinion. So I just did what others do, which is they just start with the first one and work all that color, they go to the next one and work all that color, and inevitably I'd have like 1 or 2 stitches in the middle of everything else, and then have to go and try to figure out, okay, now how the heck do I put that in there without messing up all the rest of my stitching? And where is that darn stitch? Because the last thing I want to do is not do it. It's actually kind of funny because I panicked the other day because there's some of these stitches up in here that are really, really light colored, right? There's actually one stitch somewhere in here. It may be over here, but I want to say it's in here. It's actually a white. It's actually one of the whites, and I put it in, and then I was on the next diagonal, and I'm like, oh my god, did I miss a stitch? And I had to realize that because this was a white section and look really close and see, no, these all had floss in them. But man, that would be a nightmare for me, of going through and looking at it saying, you know, I got 50% of the way through the piece and then found out I missed a stitch all the way at the beginning. Or even worse would be, you know, finish it, think that you're completely done, completely finish the piece, and then you find it when you can't even fix it. At least if you find it when you're still stitching, you can go back and fix it. But, man, I don't know. This seems slower, but also more of a surefire thing, really. I mean, I'm not going to have stitches out in the middle of other stitches somewhere, in the middle of the fabric, and you know, what the heck did I do? I have done that. Even doing this, I might be like, hey, there's 2 stitches way over here. You know, there's 2 stitches down over here somewhere. And they're all by themselves, and I'm on this one color. And even though I'm not going to get to it for a while, I may just go ahead and do them. Just so that I can tie that thread off, because I know that I'll get there pretty quickly. But I don't know. And some people, you know, that's how they stitch, and that's perfectly fine. I have to admit, when I was doing cross country, it seemed to go by really fast. You know, like I was stitching super fast. I think I did 1,000 stitches in one day one time, and that was like in a 4 or 5 hour period. I'd stitch fairly slow because you know, I haven't been doing it for decades, even though I have. Technically, I learned as a small child and I'm in my 40s, but I haven't been consistently doing it for decades. Like, and full coverage is something fairly new for me. I didn't pick up the full coverage piece, like I said, those tigers. And I was in my 20s when I picked that up. And I did it on a whim. I had never done a full coverage before. I had done those simple pieces, you know, the outlines of stuff, more embroidery than anything else. I don't think I was meant to put that in yet. See, this is what I'm saying. There's sometimes I just make an exception because I forget what I'm doing. In this case, I got to talking and yeah. Anyway, so I've been looking at a lot of cross-stitch videos on YouTube lately. It's one of the things that inspired me to do a stitch with me, because I had done YouTube videos before. And it's like, yeah, I could do that. Not really for, you know, like trying to make a channel or anything, but just for fun, you know, just like the cross stitch is supposed to be for fun. That's what the channel is for me. And if I can bring a sense of peace or happiness or just calm to somebody with a stitching video, oh, all the better. But I'm just doing this for fun. And I just want to share it. Because other people seem to enjoy it. So I'm watching them. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. And a lot of different floss tubes and whip parades, and I can't even really get in on that. I can't go, hey, here's my whip parade, because I really only have 2. And one of them I've put down because it's just got so much black. I swear that piece is a third black, because it's another like the Phoenix that I did. It's a printed pattern that I bought on Amazon during Prime Day in July. And it's 2 dragons with some roses, and it's a really pretty pattern, don't get me wrong, but the entire outside of the piece is black. And I started it in one corner. And I just felt like I was doing black and black and more black and yet more black. And I just got so tired of it. Because I was just like, okay, well, I'll just get all the black done out of the way, all around these edges. Because I started in the bottom right hand corner, because I decided to do that one in hand instead of using a Q-snap or anything. And I just got so tired of black. I'm like, well, I was doing the drive-through dragon on the weekdays, the weekday nights. No, sorry, I was doing the drive-through dragon on the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would work on drive-through dragon, which is this one. And then during the weekday, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, I would work on that printed pattern. And that was the Phoenix pattern. And that's one of the reasons why I finished it in 2 months. But yeah, I was just so dang tired of all that black. I put it away, and I haven't even touched it for 2 weeks. Because I just needed a break. I needed a break from all that black. And of course, since it's a much higher count, it's 11 count. And I decided to do that particular pattern in tint stitch as well, because I've been really enjoying the tint stitch on this piece. So I started using the full 6 threads tint stitch on that piece. So it was crazy. And to be honest, I had cut my floss for the Phoenix pattern, which also has a lot of black on it. I had cut it to like 18-inch lengths because they were just annoyingly long when I was at the fifth wheel this summer, back in August and September. And it worked great for the Phoenix piece, and then I'm doing the black on these dragons pieces, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm just going through the floss so fast. And now the floss is too short, and of course I can't do anything about it. And yes, that one came with its own kit, but I decided to try to use what floss I could from the Phoenix pattern over to the new patterns so that, I wasn't wasting it. It's not like I was going to throw it out. Oh, it was it just a number of things, and it's like, okay, I need a break from it. So yeah. Okay, I have done 94. Yeah, my pattern keeper says I've done 94 stitches tonight. But to be honest, my throat is starting to hurt a little bit. So I am going to just do some music from here on out. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my mic off, so you won't even really be able to hear me stitching at all. But that'll give my voice a break. So we'll continue from here, and I'll see you in a bit.